Alright, so you'll need the following to make repairs to little tears in the foam lacquer. You'll need a pair of scissors, a ruler, a piece of 2mm white Eva Foam, and some contact cement. It comes in a white and yellow tube that's got purple writing. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut a piece of Eva Foam. Go ahead and do that here. You're going to cut out a little rectangle. And this one I'm making it about 1.5 inches, let's say, by about 0.75 of an inch. And this is, again, just rough estimations, but you want it to just be a little rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Here's the ruler if you've got one. If not, you can just eyeball it. You can kind of see there. This is actually slightly under. Okay? But you want to make sure it's a rectangle. And then that's going to be your patch piece. And then we're going to have another piece of Eva Foam here that I'm going to use to simulate the torn section. So let's simulate a tear here. Okay, it's a little bit. So we're going to use this piece here and the cement back here, the contact cement, to go ahead and do a little repair on the inside of the headpiece so that you can't see it on the outside. All right, so for the repair of the small tear, what you're going to do is make sure you are aware of the outside of the lacquer and then also the inside of the lacquer. We're going to apply this sticky yellow glue on the inside of the lacquer so it isn't showing on the outside, and we're going to use this as a patch that I've labeled here. It's about 2 millimeters thick. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, and I already went ahead earlier off screen and punctured this like this, and there's going to be some yellow goop in here. So you're going to take your patch, and this is 2 millimeter thick white Eva Foam, okay? And you can use whichever side you like at this point, but I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this side. Just be very careful because this stuff is very sticky and it's very yellow, so you actually don't want to pour an excessive amount on. You can even use a toothpick and brush it on. I don't even go all the way out to the edges because that will result in oozing, which you want to minimize that. So go ahead and do that, and I'll go ahead and set this down. And set it down for about 3 to 5 minutes because it has to become tacky. And now you want to pay real close attention. This is a lacquer inside, so this is the side that you can't see, right? And this is the outside of the lacquer where the blue stripes are. So on the actual inside, so that it isn't showing, you're going to apply some of this glue. And again, stay kind of far away from the tear side itself because you don't want it oozing out through the crack. So you're going to do that, roughly matching the little rectangle patch that you made, and you're going to set that down for about 3 to 5 minutes till both sides are tacky. You can even like lightly touch it when you're ready. So we'll return in 3 to 5 minutes for the rest. All right, now that about 3 to 5 minutes have passed and both sides appear to be tacky, we can go ahead and bring them together. Remember, this is the inside of the lacquer that you can't see from the outside, and this would be the side where there are the blue stripes. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this patch piece that we've already applied glue to, and then this piece that's the inside, and you're gonna go ahead and apply the patch here. Now, what I would say if you've had some issues with stretching and needing more room, I would actually say, as opposed to making the edges very tight and aligned, you might want to give yourself a little bit of gap like this and glue it gapped so that there's a little extra wiggle room in the headpiece, so that it isn't tearing further down this way, and so that you've got a little bit more wiggle room on the headpiece. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. As opposed to gluing it like this, I'm going to have it glued a little bit gapped. So you just have to be really, really careful with this piece. You'll only have a few seconds to adjust. So as you can see, it's open and gapped. I'm going to go ahead and stick this piece on. And I'm going to kind of hold it in place in that position. You can kind of see there's a little bit of writing on the back side, so you can see the gap. And we're just going to hold. And you can see here, you do have to be very careful because I accidentally got a little bit of that yellow glue there. But don't worry about that. Just try and avoid it as much as you can. You can always go back and correct that with a little bit of white paint. So we're just going to hold here. Let some time pass, maybe a minute or two. And if it's tacky and it is more dry, you'll have to do this for less long, but just kind of hold and leave this gap in place, okay? And that actually should give you the reinforcement on the inside that you need, so that the tear does not continue down further. You can also choose to, here, if I can still peel it off, it might be a little too late. Oh, we still got some time. So what you can also do is you can also choose to apply the rectangle in this direction. Just cut it a little bit thicker. There you go. to prevent the tear from going further down this way as well. So it's your choice. And that gives a little bit of reinforcement. And again, you can always choose to cut this back rectangular patch a little bit wider or longer, depending on where you want to reinforce more. And once that is done and it's kind of dried already, you just leave that alone for a few minutes and you can kind of go in with some white paint. I got this, I believe, at Walmart. They sell at craft stores such as Michael's, but it's the Apple Barrel Matte Snow White, and you can kind of go in there and then brush a little bit with a paintbrush and just kind of clean up any edges where the yellow may have seeped out. But if you're really careful, when you initially start, you actually may not need the white paint at all. So hopefully that video was helpful for repairing small little tears in that have developed in a lacquer from use. Thanks.